My name is Philip Ross, and I'd like to introduce myself to you as a potential voter in the Bexar County Republican primary election for the election on March 4th, 2014. I'm a candidate for judge for Bexar County Probate Court number 2. And my thought is that to introduce myself to you, I want to go back to how I got involved in the practice of law and what my experience and observations are that lead me to the decision to offer my candidacy as the next judge for the probate court. I went to law school at St. Mary's University School of Law back in the early 1980s. At that time I was a plumbing contractor, but I decided that I needed to get a legal education, partly for the purpose of conducting my business, because I knew that in modern life, everybody has to have some associations with lawyers and the application of law, whether it's in a contract situation or any variety of different situations that affect every person. And I wanted to know how lawyers think, and I wanted the training that law school provided. And I was happy with the education I got at St. Mary's, and as soon as I got out of school, I got involved in a political controversy over a proposed reservoir called the Applewhite Project. And in the course of that involvement in a political controversy, I realized that I needed to be involved in some lawsuits that were going to affect property rights of people in the vicinity of the proposed reservoir. So after I got licensed, I started a campaign that was both political and legal. The political objective was to offer the citizens of San Antonio an opportunity to vote whether they wanted to abandon the Applewhite project. And the legal issues involved protecting the property rights of the people affected by the project. My property was the first property to be condemned for the Applewhite project, a home site that I was building on the Medina River in San Antonio. It took me 4 years to get my property back after the city condemned the property. And that lawsuit was in the probate court. When the government condemns somebody's land, the Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution says that the government needs to adequately compensate the landowner for taking their property. In my case, I got my property back. I was one of the fortunate landowners. There were only a handful of us that were able to protect our property rights. And when the project was ultimately abandoned after 2 popular elections in 1994, I was able to recover my property with my damages and with the attorney's fees, which were, in that case, over $300,000. After my experience with property rights issues in probate court, I got involved in other civil rights issues. Most of my practice for about 20 years was in federal court, representing various employees and other individuals who had complaints of discrimination by their employer. And in my cases, it was usually the Bexar County Sheriff or Bexar County or the City of San Antonio. And I represented people in various types of discrimination cases involving political retaliation, sex discrimination, age discrimination, disability discrimination. And in the process of developing my practice as a civil rights lawyer, I developed a very sharp appreciation for the importance of civil rights. I encourage everybody to set your calendar for March the 4th as Election Day, and please vote in the Republican primary.